Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap, your nightly news podcast on all the news that I come across throughout the day, giving you my take as somebody who aspires to be a politician in the near future. Hopefully, all you guys are doing wonderful. Hopefully, everything is well. Today is November 25th, and it is Tuesday. Hopefully, all you guys are doing wonderful. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. All the support would be greatly appreciated as we are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube by this summer coming up. Of course, we just hit 560, which is super, super cool. And it would be cool to hit, 600, not 700, in the next 5 days, if that's possible at all. So if it is, let's do that. That would be really, really lit. Outside of that, though, hopefully all you guys are wonderful. Before we start today's video, I just want to talk about, college finals coming up, and me going home. I have to go home to California over Christmas break to get my wisdom teeth pulled. And it'll be one of the last two times I go home to California for a bit. I will go again this summer to get some of my stuff, but I'm getting my wisdom teeth pulled. And right before that, essentially that same week, is finals. So finals week is that week. Uh, we'll see how it goes for episodes. There is going to be a lot of studying for me on my part. You know how college finals tend to go. But I do want to still try to make episodes, so we'll see how that goes. If possible, or if not, we'll maybe go down to a couple that week. But for sure, there will be episodes throughout that week. I just want to, see how finals are going. I don't have a lot. I have to write 2 papers this week, and do a little performance next week, and then the week after that is finals week, and we'll see how it goes then. I only have 3 finals, so let's see. Outside of that, though, we got a lot going on. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it all goes well. And that's about it. Going home to California to get my wisdom teeth pulled. I might take a few days off after that, just to kind of get my mouth readjusted and reassituated and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, we'll see. I'll keep you guys all updated as I normally try to do. But with that being said, let's get into the news from today. Moving on into the Trump administration segment, as we do, the Trump administration has removed nursing and teaching from lists of professional degrees. Many students who are doing certain degrees may now get less reimbursement for their studies, as the Department of Education is implementing various features and methods from the Big Beautiful Bill. This one, a massive one, as it strikes those who work and have degrees considered to be professional. The list of careers impacted by this includes nursing, physical assistants, physical therapists, audiologists, architects, accountants, educators, and social workers. I don't know why it was so hard for me to say all of those. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because if I was getting help from any of these positions or any people working in these fields, I would want it done by a professional. How are these not professional careers? I do not understand that at all. You're telling me nursing and teaching careers, which are, dominated by women, aren't professional careers? Like, that just seems dumb to me. I'm pretty sure if I met with an architect for something, I'd want them to be professional. And if I went with anyone else for something within these careers, I'd want them to be a professional. This is the dumbest news, maybe not of all time, but some of the dumbest news we have definitely heard from this administration. In other news, the Transportation Secretary wants Americans to stop wearing pajamas and slippers on planes. U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said he wants Americans to return to civility when it comes to riding in planes, along with overall airport behavior. Duffy said, "I call this maybe dressing with some respect. Whether it's a pair of jeans, a decent shirt, I would encourage people to maybe dress a little better, which encourages us to maybe behave a little better. Let's try to not wear slippers and pajamas when it comes to the airport. I think that's positive." Oh, hell no. I'm going to be so real. Like I just said, I have to take a flight back to California. And best believe I am showing up in my pajamas and going right to sleep as soon as I get on that plane. I mean, even in my pajamas right now. I did not get dressed today. I did not leave the house. As I mentioned, I unfortunately have to get my wisdom teeth pulled. and I'm sure that will be fine. We'll sure how that goes. But you will not catch me dead getting ready for a plane ride, getting ready for a thing I have no intentions to talk to people for. I have no intention of interacting with anyone, seeing anyone, or discussing anything with anyone. And it's going to stay that way unless I need to go directly to something while getting off of a plane. Like, there is no reason why anyone should have to get ready, to take a plane ride. That is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. And I don't understand it at all. Why would you want people to wear slacks and shirts and jeans and stuff on a plane? That's not comfortable. A lot of people are taking a plane ride to get super far, and you're going to dress comfortable for that. In other news, Trump's healthcare plan is already failing as Republicans are already backing out of it and refusing to vote for it. The healthcare plan that Trump was planning after the Democrats requested it to end the government shutdown is already failing as Republicans don't want to vote for it. Trump was expected to reveal the framework on Monday, which would extend the Affordable Care Act. I just refreshed my entire tab. There's a button on my mouse that does that, and I got to stop pressing it on accident. Okay. Trump was expected to reveal the framework on Monday, which would have extended the Affordable Care Act subsidies with income caps and other limits by 2 years. When asked about it, Caroline Leavitt said Trump was focused on unveiling the health care proposal, but when asked for the specifics, she refused to provide any. This doesn't shock me in the slightest. I kind of figured that Democrats would fold for essentially nothing at all, and that looks to remain to be the case here. It's actually so sad how much of a failure of that party and how it remains to be that way. And I really wish and hope there could be some things done to change that. But the establishment Democrats need to be removed. They need to end. Something needs to change because that is going to continue to lead to the failure of the Democratic Party. In other news, Trump is continuing attempts to end the war in Ukraine. Trump has taken to the Truth Social announcing attempts to mediate the war in Ukraine. In his post, he wrote, "Over the past week, my team has made tremendous progress with respect to ending the war in Ukraine and with Russia, a war that should have never been started if I were president. Last month, 25,000 soldiers died. The original 28-point peace plan, which was drafted by the United States, has been fine-tuned with additional input from both sides, and now there are only a few remaining points of disagreement. In hopes of finalizing this peace plan, I have directed Special Envoy Steve Witnikoff to meet with President Putin in Moscow, and at the same time, Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll will be meeting with the Ukrainians. I will be briefed on all the progress made, along with Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, and I look forward to meeting with Zelensky and the President Putin soon, but only when the deal is at the end or is in the final stages. Thank you for your attention to this impossible matter, or an important matter. I hope that all peace can be accomplished as soon as possible." I've heard a lot about the war in Ukraine over the past few days, and lately all I've heard is that Ukraine is going to get screwed, which is something I am not a fan of in the slightest. Russia has not won this war. In fact, they have failed on multiple accounts to win this. I would argue that Russia, because of their failure en masse to win this war, it has dropped them from the top 2 spot in the global rankings. I would argue that Russia could be considered, third or fourth. China is definitely ahead of Russia in a lot of aspects. Russia has not won the war in Ukraine at all. And Ukraine has been able to deter them to some degree, which is why I don't think they deserve to have any winning stances when it comes to this war. I do not think Ukraine should have to give up any land or pay reparations or anything. I think Russia should have to pay reparations and, maybe not give up land, but treat Ukraine with a little bit more respect, if you will. It's likely that won't be the case, unfortunately, but Russia has not won this war at all. They have failed on multiple accounts to win this war, and there is no reason why they should be able to have a peace plan that favors them. In other news, the IRS is suing a Republican senator for failing to pay millions in taxes. The IRS is suing Republican Senator Jim Justice, a Republican of West Virginia, for claiming he and his wife owe $5.15 million in unpaid taxes, penalties, and interest from the year of 2009 until now. The lawsuit is one of the most significant threats to a sitting U.S. senator in recent years, but according to these court filings, According to these court filings, the DOJ claims him and his wife were indebted to the United States and have statutory interests with other tax additions that they need to pay. This is great. And I hope we keep doing this to all of the rich people who definitely, without a doubt, have issues like this and who continue to do this. Anyone who doesn't pay taxes should go to jail, should be removed from office, and anyone who doesn't pay taxes definitely should not have a spot in office. This is wild, but if it's true, I hope it leads to his removal and, continues to be a trend throughout the government, because nobody doing things like this should be allowed to work within the government, and anyone who is should be shut down immediately. In other news, Campbell's Soup's company is facing a lawsuit currently due to the vice president attacking low-income and Native Americans. The Campbell's Soup Company is facing backlash due to the lawsuit, which has led to an executive being put on temporary leave after he referred to the firm's products as shit for fucking poor people. And the lawsuit filed on Thursday by Robert Garza, a former employee, alleges that he was fired after he raised concerns about comments made by the company's vice president after he referred to the company's ingredients as bioengineered meat while on a racist tirade against Native Americans. This is insane. Since when is soup poor people food? I've never heard that one before. But the way people act like this to me is absolutely wild. How can you be a part of one of the biggest companies in the country? I mean, I see Campbell's all over, and be such a horrific human being. It really seems like that is unfortunately the case across this country, which is absolutely disgusting. But these corporations need to be brought down. These corporations control far too much when it comes to aspects throughout the United States and monopolize far too much when it comes to aspects throughout the United States, which needs to be changed as soon as possible. With that being said, though, thank you all for watching today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed. It has definitely been a very interesting day in the news world, that is for sure. If you're new here, though, please consider subscribing. All the support would be greatly appreciated as we are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube by next summer. All the support would be greatly appreciated. We're like 40 subscribers away from 700. And if we could hit that really quickly, I would really appreciate it. I think that would be super cool. If you're on Substack, though, please also consider pledging your support, or subscribing, not pledging. Also, funds go to me. They help me pay for the things that I need to pay for in life. It's $8 a month. All the support is truly greatly appreciated. All of it helps me pay for the things that I need to get, like my groceries, like clothing, and like all the other things that I need to buy throughout my day to day. With that being said, though, thank you all for watching today's episode. I really hope you all enjoyed. We're out here building a political platform, so if you're interested in supporting someone who believes in a country that actually cares about its people, providing things like free healthcare and so many other things like that, drop a subscribe because it would be truly appreciated. With that being said, though, have a wonderful day, guys, and I will see you all